Hi guys, gracias que Carlos irte to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're making lamb stew in the Instant Pot. This is such an easy dish. I served it at a dinner party last weekend and everybody loved it. Comes together in under an hour. You really can't beat it. It makes a ginormous batch. If you have the big Instant Pot like I do, I don't remember exactly which one this is, but I will put the link in the description box down below. Fits a lot of food in here. So if you're not serving it all in one day, once it cools, you can definitely freeze half and serve half the same day, and you'll have a meal in your freezer ready to go whenever you need it. Let's get started. So in the Instant Pot, I have one onion that I finely chopped. You've seen me do it so many times. You do not need to see me do it again. That's just gonna go in the bottom of the pot. And then over here, I have a whole leg of lamb that's just been cut up. Now, I like to buy the leg of lamb from the restaurant supply store. It comes in a big case with about 6 of them in there, and it just cuts the cost down by a lot. Now, if you buy it from your supermarket or grocery store, lamb tends to be expensive depending on where you live. So I'm just using the whole leg of lamb here. The recipe calls for 4 pounds if you're not using the whole lamb, but I did test this in this bigger Instant Pot that I have, and it all fits and it works, so I'm just gonna use the whole thing. This is about 6 pounds of meat, and it's meat with the bone in and everything. So I'm just gonna put this in the Instant Pot so that way I can free up some space. I have 3 carrots that I've peeled, and I'm just gonna dice them up. I love this recipe because everything just goes in at the same time and is ready so quickly. The meat is so tender. It's just a dump and go type of recipe, but it's so elegant. You could serve it at a dinner party like I did. You don't want to cut the pieces that small so that way they don't melt. And then I have a pound of russet potatoes that I've peeled. Use whatever potatoes you have. And I'm just gonna dice these up also. This size is pretty good. All right, so next is the seasoning. I'm gonna season this with 2 heaping teaspoons. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more because it's a lot of meat. 3 teaspoons of salt, 1 heaping teaspoon of sweet paprika. This is not the smoked kind. The smoked kind is gonna give a whole other flavor to this dish, and that's not the flavor that I'm going for right now. A little bit of thyme, about a teaspoon or 2. Some crushed red pepper flakes if you like them. 2 bay leaves. These are 5 garlic cloves that I've grated. And we're gonna need about 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. You can use diced tomatoes and just puree them. We like a very smooth sauce, so I like to either puree them or get the crushed variety. And these are totally unseasoned. You can use grated tomatoes, grated fresh tomatoes, if that's what you have on hand. And I'm not even gonna bother mixing this too much. I'm just gonna spread everything so that way it's somewhat covered. It's almost impossible to mix everything all together. Just a little bit so everything can go here and there. And I'm gonna put the lid on and set the valve to seal so that way the pressure stays inside. And then I'm just gonna set it to pressure cook on high for 25 minutes. You'll notice that I did not add a drop of oil to this. Lamb tends to be a very fatty meat, so it's gonna release a lot of oil and I don't wanna add any more to it. And since I'm not sauteing the onions before I start, because I really don't need to, these are just gonna melt in the sauce. There's no need to add any extra oil to this. We're gonna let this pressure cook for 25 minutes. Then I'm gonna let it sit in the pot for about 10-15 minutes so that way the pressure can naturally release. After about 15 minutes, I'm gonna release any remaining pressure by opening that valve to the vent position. And then we're gonna taste it and just add a little bit more finishing touches, and then it's gonna be done. And just like that, the stew is ready. Now, if you want to, you can add about 2 or 3 cups of warmed up chicken stock or even water. If you want a little bit of a thinner consistency and more sauciness to it, or maybe if you want to turn it into a soup, You can definitely add some chicken stock to it, like I said, or some water. There's plenty of flavor in it. Chicken stock would be better. So once it's done, go ahead and give it a mix and stir in about 1 or 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. Taste it and see if you need to adjust the seasoning, add some more salt or pepper, and then it is ready to serve. I would serve this with some toasted rosemary bread. It's delicious with some Mediterranean lemony rice pilaf. It's also really good with a salad and some feta and olives on the side. Time for the taste test. This is soul food. Potatoes are perfectly cooked. The meat is so tender, it's literally falling off the bone. It is going to release a lot of oil, so you can definitely skim some of it off of the top and just discard it if you're really not into it. You won't even know that it's gone. There's so much flavor in this. It's so hearty and delicious, perfect for a nice cold day. Make this for your family and let me know what you guys think. The exact measurements are on the website, dimitrasdishes.com. If you want to learn more Instant Pot recipes, put your recipe requests down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I'll see you all next time. Yes, yes.